Assalamu alaikum students. This is your teacher Azka and I teach business and accounting to O and A level students. So as you know from the thumbnail that today we are going to solve all the variants of paper 4 A levels business. So before watching my video, I will recommend that first of all read the case study and just come back to this video so that you will be understand the questions. So first of all, we have the variant 1 as you can see. Then we have this variant 2 and this variant 3. Okay, so let's start from the variant 3. So we have question where we need to evaluate the effectiveness of SHS marketing strategy from 2017 to 2025. So first of all, remember that whenever you're going to start any paragraph, so whatever the keyword which you're going to use, or maybe which you are going to analyze, first of all, start with its definition. So SHS marketing strategy refers to the long-term plan used to achieve the marketing objectives through decisions on the segmentation, targeting, and marketing mix. And we know that these are the part of the marketing mix, marketing strategy. Sarah's strategy aimed to make SH the market leader by 2025 through a focus on innovation, price skimming, and strong promotion. One reason why the strategy was initially effective is its strong focus on the product innovation, which aligned well with the market research findings. Of course, if your product is not aligning with the market research, so it means that you will not be able to know that what your customers want exactly. Appendix 1 shows that 65% of consumers valued features the most, so continuous upgrading of headset technology directly met customer preferences. And this helped the assets gain a strong competitive advantage based on innovation, leading to success such as winning best gaming headset. This is the information which I've been using in the case from the case study. In 2019, achieving 45% market share by 2021, and this suggests that the strategy was highly effective in building brand reputation and differentiation in the early years. Additionally, user price skimming supported profitability during growth by charging high prices for technologically advanced products, and SS likely maximized the profit margins when demand was strong and competition was limited. And this is supported by the financial data in Appendix 3 that where operating profit rose significantly to 18 million in 2019, and therefore the pricing strategy was effective in extracting value from customers who prioritize quality over price. Then promotion was also a strength of the strategy. Extensive advertising and celebrity endorsement helped build brand awareness, particularly among younger customers who made up 70% of the market, and this is likely to contribute to rapid revenue growth through 2021. As shown in Appendix 2, where the revenue peaked and strong branding and media coverage enforced the SHS premium image, increasing customer loyalty. However, of course, we have to evaluate it as well that what are the weaknesses in the strategy. So the effectiveness of the strategy declined after 2021 due to changing external conditions. The entry of NHT in 2023 introduced intense competition, particularly with products priced at half the price of SHS headsets. And since the SH was charging the skimming. So SH's continued use of skimming pricing became a weakness, and as consumers became more price sensitive during the recession, so this indicates that the pricing strategy lacked flexibility. They were not changing their price at all and failed to adapt to the market changes. Furthermore, the strategy relied heavily on selling the through the specialist stores, while Appendix 4 highlights that a rise in online shopping. This suggests that SS did not adopt its distribution strategy to changing the consumer behaviors, because we know that whenever we are making the marketing strategy, so we have to focus on the 4 P's. So if you will not change the 4 P's according to the market conditions, so definitely you will lose the competition. Limiting accessibility and reducing competitiveness against rivals and who may have stronger online presence. Financial performance clearly shows decline effectiveness over time. Appendix 3 indicates that ROC fell from 10% in 2019 to -4% in 2025, and operating profit dropped a loss of $8 million. This demonstrates that the strategy failed to sustain the profitability in the long term despite the early success. So now we are going to make the conclusion that in judgment, SHS marketing strategy was highly effective between 2017 and 2021. So we know that first of all, we have to assess the marketing and whether whatever the strategy they are asking us to write about, whether this is operational, marketing, business strategy, or maybe HR strategy. So at the end, we have to conclude that whether that strategy was successful or not. So that was successful, but between 2017 and 2021, as it aligned and well with customer preferences and supported the strong growth, market leadership, and profitability. However, it became ineffective after 2021 because it failed to adopt to increase competition, economic and recession, and changing consumer behavior. And therefore, while initially successful, the strategy was not sustainable in a dynamic market. Okay. Then the question number two was that advise Sarah whether the pest analysis in the is the most useful approach. So you can talk about the pest analysis, its strength and its weaknesses, and you can talk about the other types of tools as well. And but see like how I wrote this. First of all, of course, you need to write what is the meaning of this. So pest analysis is a strategic tool used to analyze the external macro environmental factors, means political, economic, social, and technological influence on a business. One advantage of using this pest analysis is that it helps Sarah understand external changes affecting the asset's performance. For example, the economic factor in Appendix 4 show the rising inflation and recovering performance economy, and this helps explain increasing production cost and changing demand patterns. By identifying these trends, SH can adjust its pricing and cost strategy, making pest a useful starting point for a strategic planning. And pest analysis is also valuable in identifying the consumer trends, particularly social factors. The data shows that consumers are becoming more price sensitive and increasingly shopping online. So this whole question is connected with the question number one because we already have used this information. And this insight is crucial because Asset's current strategy focuses on premium pricing and serve physical retail store. Therefore, pest analysis can guide Sarah to shift towards more competitive pricing or develop online sales channels, improving the competitiveness. Then also technological factors further highlights the usefulness of pest. The rise of AI in market research and robotics in production could help assets reduce cost and improve efficiency. Given that assets' competitive advantage is innovation, understanding these technological changes is essential for maintaining its market position. Now we are going to evaluate the pest. It's good that first of all analyze the advantage, then evaluate it, then again write the advantage, then again evaluate it. But I just evaluated this after the three different points, like the three benefit and its analysis. However, pest analysis has limitation. It only focuses on external factors and ignores the internal strength and weaknesses. For example, Asset already has strong innovation capabilities and brand reputation, which are not considered in pest. Without analyzing internal factors, Sarah may make decisions that do not fully utilize Asset's resources. Therefore, tools like SWOT analysis provide a more balanced view and tell Sarah exactly what to do. So, for instance, knowing that consumers are price sensitive does not automatically determine whether assets should reduce prices, cut costs, and reposition its brand. This limits its usefulness as a standalone tool. So, another limitation is that pest analysis can become quickly outdated, yeah, definitely, and fast changing market like technology. So, since asset operates in a highly dynamic industry because there are a lot of competition, the customers' preferences are changing, the technology is changing, that's why it's a dynamic industry. Relying solely on pest may result in a delayed or ineffective strategic decisions. So, in judgment, the final conclusion is that pest analysis is a useful tool for understanding external factors and is particularly helpful in identifying the key changes in the market environment. However, It is not the most useful approach on its own. SARA should combine it with other tools such as SWOT analysis and Porter's five forces to develop a comprehensive and effective business strategy. Okay, now we are going to see the variant 2. Evaluate the effectiveness of KK's operation strategy between 2022 to 2024. This is a 4-year strategy. Okay. So they have used multiple operational strategies. So we are going to evaluate and analyze its, like we need to analyze its benefit and we need to discuss its limitations, and maybe we can talk about the other impacts which may decrease its effectiveness. So operations strategy refers to the long-term decision a business makes about how it produces goods and services efficiently to achieve its objectives. Between 2020 and 2024, KK implemented several important operational strategies, including investment in a kelp refinery, the adoption of just-in-time inventory management, improvements in project management, and changes in sourcing. The effectiveness of these strategies is mixed, with both significant strength and notable weaknesses. So, one major strategic decision was the investment of $5 million into a kelp refinery, allowing KK to process kelp into biodegradable plastic, and this represents forward vertical integration and product innovation, enabling the business to move into the higher value added production in the long term. This strategy is likely to be effective because increases potential profitability, reduces the dependence on like selling raw kelp, and support KK's environmental mission. However, its short-term effectiveness is limited. The refinery was operating at only 40% capacity in 2023, indicating the underutilization of resources and inefficiency. In addition, delays in employee training due to skill shortages mean that the business could not fully benefit from the new technology, and the need to borrow cost of the $5 million investment also increased financial risk. Therefore, while strategically beneficial, operational investment also increased the operational effectiveness has not yet been fully achieved. Then they have used the GIT as well. So we need to write its advantage and we need to write the other factors. We need to evaluate this as well. So KK's implementation of GIT in 2021 aimed to reduce cost and wastages. This already has been effective in lowering storage, packaging, and inventory holding cost. And as kelp is now harvested daily and sent directly to the manufacturers without processing, and this also aligns well with KK's sustainability goals by reducing waste. But again, we need to evaluate this. However, JIT has created new operational challenges. The business experienced an increase in lead times from 1 week to 1 month, struggling with that supply chain reliability and responsiveness have worsened, and this could damage customer satisfaction and competitiveness. And GID system are highly dependent on efficient coordination, and KK may not yet have the infrastructure or systems in place to support it effectively. Then they have used the project management techniques, so such as the simultaneous engineering with multiple teams helped improve efficiency in some areas. For example, the exterior construction of the refinery was completed faster than expected. However, there were also clear weaknesses in coordination as the employee training began 6 months late, and this suggests that poor planning and highlights a lack of skilled labor in the factory country. As a result, the refinery could not operate efficiently immediately after completion, reducing the overall effectiveness of the operational strategy. Now we need to, at least in 20 mark question, you need to write the 3 analysis, 3 evaluation, and 1 judgment, means that you have 1 conclusion. So finally, KK's decision in 2024 to import kelp from lower income countries helped address capacity utilization in the refinery, and this strategy improves supply availability and allow the business to increase production levels. It may also reduce raw material costs. However, it could conflict with the KK social and environmental mission, especially if imported kelp is less sustainably sourced. There may also be reputational risk and quality control issues associated with overseas suppliers. In conclusion, KK's operational strategy between 2020 and 24 has had mixed effectiveness. While there are clear strengths such as cost reduction from GIT, a long term benefit from the refinery investment, and these are offset by operational inefficiencies, delays, and underutilization of capacity. Overall, the study has a strong long term potential, but in the short term, its effectiveness is limited due to the poor implementation and external constraints such as skills shortages. The next question is that advise KK on the likely impact of the new government policy on its future business strategy. Okay. So the government policies can significantly influences the business strategy by affecting cost, demand, and the external environment. The new government in country W has introduced several policies, including monetary policy to control inflation, grants for the carbon efficient businesses, increasing in minimum wage, education reforms, and the removal of trade barriers. And these policies will have both positive and negative impact on the KK's future strategies. So, first of all, let's talk about the monetary policy. So, the use of monetary policy to stabilize inflation could create a more predictable economic environment for KK. Stable inflation helps business plan cost and prices more effectively, reducing uncertainty if inflation is controlled. Interest rates may also stabilize, which is important for KK as it has borrowed heavily to finance its refinery. Lower or stable interest rates would reduce the cost of borrowing and improve the cash flow. However, if tight monetary policy leads to higher interest rates, so this could increase financial pressure on KK, limiting its ability to invest further. Then let's talk about the next change of the government, that is government grants. Government grants to support carbon efficient businesses are likely to have a highly positive impact on the KK. As a social enterprise focused on sustainability and biodegradable plastic, KK is well positioned to benefit from such grants. This could reduce operational costs, support expansion of the refinery, and encourage further investment in green technologies. It may also strengthen the KK's brand image and competitive advantage. Therefore, this policy strongly supports the KK's long term growth strategy. However, the planned increase in minimum wage by 40% by 2028 could significantly increase labor cost for KK, especially as it is a labor intensive business. And higher wages will increase production cost and may reduce profit margins. And this could force KK to consider strategies such as automation, reducing the labor turnover, which may increase productivity in the long term. And the overall impact will be depend on how effectively KK manages these changes. And then the third change was about the educational reforms. Okay. So the reform of the education system, including government funded university tuition, is likely to benefit KK in the long term. One of the KK's challenges was a shortage of skilled laborers, which delayed training for the refinery. So, improved access to education should increase the availability of skilled labor, making it easier for KK to recruit and train employees in the future. And this will improve operational efficiency and support the expansion plans. Finally, the elimination of trade barriers for business in the primary sector will have a positive impact on KK's sourcing strategy. It will make it easier and cheaper to import kelp from other countries, supporting the refinery's capacity utilization, and it may also allow the KK to expand into international markets. However, increased competition from foreign firms could pose a threat. Yeah, that definitely will happen. And reliance on imported kelp may raise concern about sustainability and quality. So, in conclusion, the government policies present both opportunities and challenges for KK. Policies such as grants for carbon efficient businesses and education reforms are highly beneficial and support the long term growth. However, rising labor costs and potential interest rates change could create financial pressure. Overall, KK should adopt a flexible strategy taking advantage of government support while managing rising cost and maintaining its sustainability mission. Then we are going to see the paper 4 variant 1 where we need to evaluate one marketing strategy. So, marketing strategy is a long-term plan designed to achieve a firm's marketing objectives by selecting appropriate target markets and using an effective marketing mix. FM's marketing strategy between 2021 and 2024 involved major changes under a new CEO, including international expansion and sustainable product development and digital promotion. While these strategies aim to achieve FM's objective of growing revenue faster than competitors, their overall effectiveness is mixed. First of all, they've used market development strategy. So, market development is a growth strategy where a business enters new markets with existing products. And 2021, FM adopted this approach by planning to open 25 stores across 7 high-income countries, supported by a significant investment in market research and distribution infrastructure. This strategy had the potential to increase revenue and build global brand recognition, helping FM achieve economy of scale. However, it has also involved high financial risk due to the large initial cost and uncertainty in the new market. This is reflected in FM's declining revenue from to the $2.29 billion in 2021 and 1.37 billion in 2023, suggesting that the expansion may not have been immediately successful. Therefore, although the strategy aligns with long-term growth, its short-term effectiveness appears limited. Then, secondly, they have used a product development strategy. So, product development involves introducing new products to existing markets. In 2022, FM launched a sustainable clothing range to respond to changing customer preferences. And this strategy was partially successful as a new range accounted for 21% of total sales, indicating strong demand. However, production costs increased by 35%, while price rose by only 25%, reducing profit margins. Additionally, FM faced reputational damage due to the acquisition of unethical sourcing and misleading sustainability claim, which led to a significant increased public relation cost. As a result, although the strategy improved product differentiation, poor execution and reduced its overall effectiveness. Then thirdly, they have used a digital marketing strategy. So, the digital marketing refers to promoting product using online platforms and technology. And in 2023, the FM introduced the Fashion Mania campaign using social media influencers and digital in-store displays to engage customers. And this modern approach helped increase brand awareness and customer interaction, especially through user-generated content. However, marketing expenditure rose sharply to 135 million in 2023 while revenue declined significantly in the same year. This suggests that the campaign did not generate immediate returns and may have been inefficient in the short term. Nevertheless, such as strategies often take time to have a full impact. So now we need to conclude it. So overall, FM marketing strategy shows some signs of success by 2024, with revenue recovering to $2.19 billion, operating profit increasing, and market share rising slightly. However, earlier year shows declining performance, rising costs, and reputational issues. And this indicates that while FM strategy is appropriate in responding to market trends and aiming for the global growth, its implementation has been inconsistent. In conclusion, FM's marketing strategy has long-term potential but has not been fully effective in the short term due to the high cost, execution problems, and delayed results. Question number 2, where we need to advise about the strategy, that whether we should use a blue ocean strategy or not. First of all, of course, we will start with the definition. So, blue ocean strategy in business is a business approach that focuses on creating new uncontested market space where competition is irrelevant rather than competing in existing markets known as the red oceans. FM's directors are considering whether this approach is suitable for developing its future strategy, given its aim of achieving global growth and profitability. One argument in favor of the blue ocean strategy is that it would allow FM to differentiate itself beyond low price clothing, which is currently a highly competitive market. The fashion retail industry is saturated with the firms competing mainly on price, meaning profit margins are often low. By creating unique values such as genuinely sustainable, affordable fashion or innovative in store digital experiences, FM could reduce direct competition and potentially charging the higher prices, and this would help improve profitability, which has been under pressure due to rising cost and high marketing expenditure. In addition, the Blue Ocean strategy could help FM to rebuild its brand image, which has been damaged by the acquisition of unethical sourcing and misleading sustainability claims. So, by focusing on innovation and transparency, FM could create a new market space based on trust and ethical reputation production. And this would not only attract the ethically conscious consumers but also reduce the need for high public relations spending in future. However, there are significant limitations to using a blue ocean. Firstly, it is highly risky and expensive, as creating the new market requires substantial investment in research, innovation, and marketing. FM has already experienced rising costs from international expansion and digital campaigns. So, with mixed results, pursuing a blue ocean strategy could further strain financial resources, especially if the new ideas fail to attract the sufficient demand. Secondly, FM's core strength lies in being a low price retailer, and moving away from this could be problematic. Customers are attracted to FM because of its affordability and fast changing fashion designs. A shift towards differentiation and innovation may lead to higher prices, which could reduce demand among its price sensitive target market. And this creates a risk of losing its existing comparative advantage without guaranteeing success in the new market space. Alternatively, approach focusing on external environments such as market analysis tool, for example, Pestle or Porter 5 Forces, may be more appropriate, and these approaches would allow FM to better understand international markets, customer trends, and comparative pressure before making strategic decision. Given the challenges FM has already faced with expansion and sustainability, a more cautious research-based approach may lead to better decision making and reduce risk. So, in conclusion, while a blue ocean strategy offers potential benefits such as differentiation, reduce competition, improve brand image, it is likely too risky for FM given in its situation. A more suitable approach would be to focus on analyzing the external environment and improving existing strategies such as refining its sustainable product range and making it digital marketing more cost effective. Therefore, a blue ocean strategy should not be the primary approach, although the elements of innovation from it could still be used alongside more traditional strategies. So, this is it. This is the variant one. So, we just completed all the variants of paper 4. And please share this video with those students who need it. And yeah, so we will inshallah meet in the next video. Allah Hafiz.